And how threatened is Romania feeling by Vladimir Putin, by Russia?
We, of course, are affected by the security in the Black Sea region, and the security in the Black Sea region was affected. But at the same time, we have to be aware, and I'm saying this all the time to the Romanian citizens and also with our partners when we talk about these issues. We do not have to fear, because NATO is the strongest political military alliance in history, and the security of the allies has been consolidated through the decisions which were taken last year by the summit in March in Brussels, and especially by the summit in Madrid in June. And then the meeting of the foreign affairs ministers, which I hosted at the end of November in Bucharest, is confirming this, because we have been discussing a lot about the importance of the Black Sea security. It is a strategic region for the alliance, and it was included as such in the NATO strategic concept, which was adopted in Madrid following the demarches which were made by Romania. So our security is stronger now, and I think we shouldn't fear, even if we have to be aware of the threats which are prompted by this war Russia has unleashed against Ukraine.
I want to ask you about that humanitarian hub in Suceava. There are reports about Romania's involvement in the creation of a hub for the reconstruction of Ukraine. What's Romania's official position on this, and is there a plan for its implementation or an identified area where it could be built?
Well, the humanitarian hub in Suceava was an important initiative of Romania, which was created together with the European Commission. And since March, when we have created this hub, more than 64 convoys with humanitarian aid were sent through this center to Ukraine. And I think more than 360 trucks with aid were sent through this humanitarian hub. It is a very successful initiative, which was very appreciated by our partners in the European Union, but not only. And I think it will continue to provide assistance to both Ukraine, but also to Moldova, because the Republic of Moldova also needs humanitarian assistance these times.
About Romania's rejection to Schengen, a major blow, of course, for your country. What's your strategy now, given that Sweden is presiding over the European Union, has said that it won't bring up this unless the countries that vetoed it prioritise it?
Well, I think it is no doubt absolutely that the Swedish presidency is supporting the efforts towards accession. The Prime Minister of Sweden has made a very clear statement a couple of days ago in the European Parliament on Tuesday, when he presented the priorities of the Swedish presidency. And I was glad to note that the accession to Schengen was enumerated among those priorities. This is also a result of my discussions on the 11th of January with the Swedish Foreign Minister, which also provided very strong assurances that Sweden will take over this priority from the Czech presidency and make it a priority of the Swedish presidency. So the Swedish presidency is providing all necessary support. It will launch a process of consultation in the near future with all actors which are involved in this process, with Austria, with the Netherlands, with the Commission, with Bulgaria, and all other actors which are supporting this process. Yesterday I had a discussion with the Foreign Minister of Austria here in Davos, in the margins of the World Economic Forum, and I have pleaded for a constructive approach from Austria in order to start a process which would lead us to the accession, because it is very important that Austria shows flexibility and a constructive attitude. And I have informed my colleague of the willingness of Romania to embark in the process of consultations together with the Commission, together with Austria and the other partners, in order to find solutions to the migration problems which are flagged by Austria, even if we do not recognize any kind of connection between our Schengen accession and the migration issues. And we agreed that we will work together to finally have a work plan, a roadmap towards accession. This is important, and we will continue to stay in touch in the near future. Also yesterday, the Romanian President, Mr. Iohannis, talked over phone with the Austrian President, Mr. van der Bellen, and they have discussed the same constructive approach that we need from behalf of Austria, and we decided to send back the ambassador of Romania to Vienna. We have called him for consultations in December after the vote which was cast by Austria against Romania in the Justice and Home Affairs Council. This is a gesture of openness towards cooperation, towards a constructive attitude, and we hope that the Austrian partners will respond with the same approach.
Just finally, very, very briefly, what was the mood like yesterday in the meeting, in that room when you discussed these sensitive issues?
Well, the task of the foreign ministers is to dialogue and to create the conditions to facilitate the dialogue. And I have taken note of the proposal of my colleague, the foreign minister of Austria, that the internal affairs ministries should continue to have the leading role. In the meantime, the foreign ministers and the foreign ministries should facilitate this dialogue. And the atmosphere was a collegial one. We have discussed professionals. Of course, I have not hidden our deep dissatisfaction and disagreement with the conduct of Austria, which was unjustified, unwarranted, and without any kind of logic explanation, because Romania is ready to join. Our readiness is very clearly acknowledged by all other European partners, by the Commission, by the evaluation missions, and there is added value. I have told him that the furthest the external borders of the European Union are, the more secure the Austrian borders are, and I think this is a fact that is very clearly understood by everybody.
Okay, Minister, thank you so much.